Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel where we are reviewing the Project Resource Manual published by the Construction Specifications Institute. Today, we're going to go through Module 3, and that is the project delivery. So before we begin, let us understand first what actually the project delivery is. And as we read there, project delivery is the contractual relationship between the owner, architect, engineer, contractors, and the management services utilized to design and construct a project. And there are a few delivery methods. Design, bid, build, which is considered to be a traditional one. Design, negotiate, build, then construction management with a few variations, design, build, and then the owner build. And there are a few different deviations from the contracts, and there are different types of contract payments, such as like lump sum or unit price or cost plus fee, and different scheduling and the number of contracts like single or multiple prime. But we're going to go over each of them and just see what the main differences are. Before we begin, we need to understand that there are design services provided by the architects and the engineers teams and construction services. And there are differences. So before any construction begins, there needs to be a set of drawings that the contractors will use on site and build the building or any type of structure. So for example, in the like integrated project delivery system, a lot of things go simultaneously, and drawings are delivered in packages. So, or like design build, like something can already start, like the contractors can start pouring the foundation while the architect is still working on the interior design or any like furnishings and equipment features. So that is the main difference. Before we do anything else, we need to review the factors affecting project delivery. And we know that there are a few things that contribute to the project. And let's use the board and write about that. So one is cost, then extent, and then the time. And here goes the quality of your project. So in order to have your project done, you can only pick two. So you can only pick the project in the project delivery, you can only pick like time and cost, but then the scope will be affected. Or you can have it done fast and with a good scope, with a good extent, but then it will cost a lot. Or you can choose cost and extent, and then it will take longer time. So you can only pick two when you work on a project like that. So the next thing is we are going to go through the traditional design, bid, build, and this is how it works. So there is always an owner, and I'll put an O here, and there is the architect here and the contractor here. The owner has contractual obligations, contractual relationships with both architect and the construction management firm or contractor. These two guys, they do not have privity or any contractual obligations. And this is why people need to use the general conditions that actually, or the document that is AIA A201. And that will dictate who does what in this triangle and who is responsible for which part of the project. So this is the traditional design, bid, build. And when we talk about others like sub structures, right? Here, the architect can have some consultants and interior designer and acoustical consultant and other different things. And the contractor can have subcontractors, they can have suppliers, they can have manufacturers that they work directly with. So that is definitely something we need to consider, or like subcontractors, right? Like that will go like all the way here, for example. So that is like the chain of command, if you please, for the traditional design, bid, build project delivery method. And as we know that time is always the essence, time, sequencing, and cost, those are three main factors in every construction project. So there are also different ways to escalate or fast track the project, and that can be like multiple prime, or that can be just the fast track project delivery method, but we'll talk a little bit about them later. So when we talk about the cost of the project, there are a few methods to pay. So one is the stipulated or lump sum. So the owner and the architect or the contractor, they agree about the fixed amount of money that is going to be paid at the end of the project. So they say like, we need to get this kitchen remodeled for $20,000. Let's just say it as an example. And that means that everything is included there, which means design, construction, all the materials and everything. So that is the lump sum. Then the unit price, and that is used when there are a lot of unknowns. For example, the owner needs to do the excavation and they don't know how many cubic feet exactly they're gonna excavate from that site, if there are gonna be like unknown conditions or something like that. So that is definitely something that the unit price system can deliver. Then cost plus fee or fixed fee or the guaranteed maximum price or GMP. Those are different payment methods. And this is something where the contractor can either agree or not. Like some contractors prefer to work with the GMP. Some contractors love to have that cost plus fee. Some prefer to work with a lump sum. It totally depends on the construction company or architectural firm. So people use different methods that fit their needs. Also, there are penalties, there are bonuses, there are incentives, and those are the instruments that the owners can use to control the project. And they're like shared savings that they can share whatever is left, like if the project is on time and delivered under the budget, so they can all share the savings. Or they could be liquidated damages. If nothing is done on time, the project is flowing over budget and not just, there are so many difficulties there. So there's usually like a penalty for that. As far as the number of contracts, there could be a few contracts that it can be a single prime contract or multiple prime. And sometimes the owner will have their own firm that works with them and they would like to continue working with them just for this project, or they will carry them on through all the projects that they would like to get some help with. Multiple prime means that there's not just one contractor, but many. So, and let's draw this. So we always deliver the project. When we always deliver the project, we start with the owner. So, and that is the O. Then the owner can have a contractor, then they have another contractor. Then here there'll be an architecture plus engineering firm working with them. And then they can have like another contractor working here, and they can have their own subcontractors and subcontractors, and that will kind of like create this structure. So you see that this is going to be like a very elaborate structure. An architect can have their consultants and their designers that they work together with. So also, when the owner can have their own suppliers. So we write it down here. And for example, if the owner has a preferred like equipment or manufacturer or some tile that they work directly with, they can say, hey, we're not going to include that in the construction cost. That is going to be our separate obligation. We're going to provide this and deliver to you, and you contractors will work with that. So for example, this contractor will be assigned to work with this particular supplier. So that can be like one of the ways to work around. As far as the forms of agreements, as I mentioned, the owner always has contractual obligations with the contractor, with the architect. The architect and the contractor never have direct contractual obligations. So that will only be design build if that is all in-house and the contractor and the architect work together. So for the design bid build, what actually that is about, that is for the most part the traditional traditional style of delivering the project. That is used in the government projects. All the federal projects and local government projects and projects on the state level, they require all the drawings to be sent to bid. So everybody has equal rights to go to the bidding website and just submit their documentation and make sure that everything is fair. And they go for the most part with the lowest bid, just because they need to substantiate the selection. And they go through the value analysis, and they understand like why they selected that, and the roles of participants are also very restricted. So, and that is considered to be the traditional one. So the benefits of design build build is you can get the lowest price, basically. That is just because there is competition, you will get the lowest price. And as far as the limitations of the design bid build, that can be like a bid day surprise. You open the bids and you will realize that none of the bids are meeting the budget. So then you'll have to ask the architect to redesign and then bid that project again. Or there are other things that you can read about in the chapter. So design, negotiate, build, that is a kind of like deviation from the traditional design, bid, build. And that process is like more informed, and it's kind of like more, I would say, like informal procurement requirements. So the negotiated contractor participates and they submit like maybe 1 or 2 packages to deliver, and then the owner decides if they would like to go ahead with that. And usually in the design, negotiate, build, what is actually happening there is, so here we have our owner, then there is a design contract with the architect, then the owner has a contract with the contractor. They have their own suppliers, they have their own subs, and sometimes the subs or the suppliers will send a proposal. There will be like a proposal here. They will send a proposal to the contractor, and then they will coordinate that with the owner. So sometimes that works the other way around. So they kind of like already have negotiated services that they are going to use. Then as far as the benefits of design, negotiate, build project delivery methods, is there are a few benefits. So one is that the negotiated construction contract can be developed at any time during the design process. That is good. Then the early addition of the contractor to the project team adds a dimension to the design process that provides a balance between cost, extent of work, and time. So that is good too. As far as the limitations, the lowest cost may not be obtained due to the absence of competition. So there is no competition. It does not have to be the lowest bid, and they can offer quality instead of the lowest cost. So then when we look at the next project delivery system, and that is construction manager as advisor, then we do this. We have our owner here. Then there is a contract with the architect. Then the owner has their own consultant. And then the owner has a contract with the construction management company. That is the advisor, and that is the CMA. And then that is separate, and then the owner will have a contract with the contractor. And the contractor can have their own subs, their own suppliers. The architect will have their consultants and their designers that they partner with. So then what does the construction manager as advisor does? They are engaged early in the process, and they advise the owner that they may need to use this, or they would like to recommend this particular material or product, or just like use this equipment. So they advise the owner, but they do not construct the project. So, and then we're gonna look at the construction manager as contractor, or CMC. That's a different method. So here we have our owner, where we have our architect. Then we have our construction manager as constructor, or CMC. And then the construction manager as constructor has their subs, they have their suppliers, they have their like subcontractors. So what it does is actually and then the architect, of course, they have their own guys. So what it does is the construction manager as contractor, or CMC, or CM at risk, they deliver the project. They both advise and they construct the project. So they know a lot in the field, and they're willing to take that responsibility and be both advisor, the manager, and the deliverer of the project. And that is sometimes the best delivery method, sometimes it's not. So it totally depends on the project. So as far as the benefits of construction management method, what it does is construction managers usually have particular expertise in the following areas, like coordination of construction, information management, cost management, time management, quality assurance, job site safety. So that contributes to the benefits of the construction managers. If we talk about the limitations of construction management, there are a few. So usually the owner pays a greater total amount for professional fees to the construction management and the architectural firm. And the use of a construction manager may restrict direct communication between the owner and the contractor. So there's like a middleman that helps, but at the same time, like the communication can take a longer route. So then when we talk about other delivery methods, there is a design build method, and that's a totally different animal. And that is considered to be quite a new thing in the field. So although a lot of like transportation and infrastructure projects are using this particular project delivery method. So this is our owner, and the owner has a contract with the design builder or design build entity. And this is the architect plus construction management company or a contractor. So now these guys are friends. They work together. They have in-house architects and in-house contractors. Sometimes it's contractor-led design build firm. Sometimes it's architect-led design build firm. So it depends. But what it actually does is that these guys are together. So there is like one throat to choke, if you please, and the owner has relationship with both of them, and they have their own consultants, they have their own designers, they have their own suppliers, they have their own subs. So that is actually something that a lot of owners are a little apprehensive about, but some of them really prefer to work with the design build firms. And sometimes there will be like an administrative consultant or professional that will work with the owner, and that they will coordinate that as the owner's rep. So that will be kind of like easier for all the participants. And if we talk about the benefits of this project delivery method, we can say that like that will definitely be easier contractually. So the contractual obligations are it's just one contract with the design build firm. Then the contractor can influence product selections by providing information regarding cost, availability, and performance. So like they're involved early in the process and they can do that. Then design involves multiple trades, and that is a good consideration too. Also, if we talk about the limitations of the design build methods, then the preparation of the project description may be a difficult task for the owner. So the project requirements, in case the project requirements are complex and the owner is not really familiar with the construction process, they're not super experienced, and then that can be a problem because that will just extend the time and eventually the money that they pay for the project. So when we talk about the owner build, there is no like specific diagram for that. Basically, it's for the most part residential, and the owner can sign the affidavit, like the owner builder affidavit. They need to go notarize that, and then they can pull the permit for all the trades. They can do like electrical, mechanical, plumbing, low voltage, and they can do that with the building department or any other jurisdiction that is in the city or in the county. So, and basically, and then they can either invite the contractor to do that, or they can use their own means and methods and build a project and just use the architect services. So that is not going to work for any type of government projects because that is something that is for the most part residential. And if we talk about the involvement of the architect, yes, the owner may use the architect to get the drawings and then submit them to the jurisdiction. And then they may involve the contractor or the electrician or a licensed mechanical engineer or plumber or whatever specialists they need, security or something like that. So they can involve all those guys to the project. The benefits of the owner build project delivery methods, they are actually like, I would say, like both limitations and the benefits. So in order to do that, the owner must have experience and expertise to successfully perform all the duties of the contractor. And then the owner must have the financial backing to absorb the risk of problems or other losses that may develop during construction. So that's now the owner's responsibility to take care of all the materials and possible loss or damage or vandalism, and they are in charge of that. It's not the contractor who is bonded and insured, and it's now the owner. And then they need to heavily rely on the specialty contractors hired to work, and sometimes that gets more expensive than just hiring like a construction manager. The limitations, if we talk a little more about that, the substantial limitation is that the owner has a significant risk and they need to assume that risk. So whatever like code violations they have, or they have some difficulties with the environment, or they have difficulties with the zoning or anything like that, this is what the owner needs to be aware of, and they need to know that they are willing to deal with that. So then the next part is the project team, and selecting the team is, I would say, as difficult as building the project, because people work with people and there's always human factor in everything. So if you select a great team, you will have a great project. You will have really good relationship, like lifelong relationships, and you will continue working with those people. You know, next project they can call you, or you can rely on them and you can recommend them. So that's something to consider. But if you work with some toxic people that just, you know, just chase the money, that's not a good idea. Or the owner who is not a good owner, and they have like a history of litigation, so they have really no experience but high demands. They want to everything to be like the highest standard, the top quality, and they want the architect and the contractor to sign a contract like that. That's impossible. Like the architects are held to the standard of care, and they cannot, you know, sign something like with the superior requirements. So that is very important to select a good team. So and then when we talk about the any delivery method, so the documents that need to be in the project are drawings and specifications. And in the next video, where we go through module 4, and that will be the design phase, we'll see how actually that is structured, and when we need to deliver the specs, when we need to deliver the drawings, what needs to be included there. So, and also what I just want to add here, regardless of what a project delivery method is selected, there are stages of the project. So the drawings, the construction, and then commissioning and inspection, and then the substantial completion, and then the final completion. So that is something that will always be there regardless of what project delivery method is selected. And it's usually good to work with the experienced people, and it's always good to deliver the project on time and on budget or under budget, and get some perks and some incentives from the owner, and then, you know, have good relationship with the owner, and then get the next project. So that's something to consider. And that is basically it for module 3. I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.